Hi everyone, I'm Hales and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to another episode of Friday Sews. And this week I'm just going to let you know what I've been up to, bits and pieces with sewing and that kind of thing. If you want to check out last week's video, then I will link that down below in the description box along with the Friday Sews hashtags. If you search on YouTube, you'll see all the other sewists who are joining in, and that was the hashtag started up by Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room. So last week I couldn't remember, so I did a quick recap on my laptop to see what I spoke to you about last week, and that was the Florence dress by Sew Over It. And I had a few issues in that the waistband was rising up at the front because it was an elastic waistband. So I removed the elastic. It was really just a wearable toile or muslin. So I took the elastic out just to see if it would hang down more at the front, but it was still rising up, so I thought I needed to do something with it. So I had to play around with the pattern pieces. So I traced off the Florence top, and then I thought I'd try and do a full bust adjustment. But a lot of the tutorials I've seen online when I googled, they already had they already had a dart. So you were manipulating the dart and doing that. So when I searched for a full bust adjustment for something without a dart, it came up with Helen's Closet, and there was a link to a blog post that she'd done for, I think it was the Blackwood cardigan. So I copied. So although Blackwood cardigan is a knit fabric, I just sort of followed what she did, and this is what I've come up with. And also I didn't have any big paper, and my tracing paper is on a roll, and I needed it to lay flat, so it's just curling up. So I just grabbed some A3 card, 2 pages, and then just like stuck it on. So I thought I needed, I think it was sort of, I felt like it was rising up by about an inch. So I thought, well, I'll try an inch. So from here, you'll see that I have slashed here. So I've added an inch down here, and then you cut this bit to sort of like drop that bit down. But then you end up with like it sticking out loads. So then you have to sort of like draw like a dart and then close it up again. I will, if I can find that post again, because it was literally just, it's all now fallen to bits. I googled it, but if I can find that reference post, which I think it was just photos or maybe it's been a blog post, I will link that in the description box below so you can check it out, because she can explain it a lot better than what I'm trying to. But basically this is what I ended up with. I had to sort of like put it down again with the dart, even it out at the bottom. And I then had some leftover fabric from a previous make to make a mock-up of like the bodice. So it's joined at the front, and because it has buttons at the front, then obviously I haven't put that on. So I will insert a photo of me trying this on, and you will then see that I think I've got it more or less straight at the front and at the back. I am just hoping that's going to work, because I haven't obviously put elastic in, so I didn't have enough fabric to do anything other than this. But I'm hoping that I sorted it for the Florence dress, and then I can make it, and I'm going to show you my fabric has arrived. So I placed an order online with Rainbow Fabrics at Kilburn in London, and I've ordered from them previously because the muslin fabric came from them. It's not muslin fabric, it's viscose, but that's what I use because they're really good prices. I saw on their Instagram that they deal quite a lot on mainly with dead stock fabric, so ex-designer fabric which is being sold off. And they said because most of the shops here in the UK were closed over the summer, and so shops weren't ordering in like they would normally do because of lockdown and things, there was quite a big surplus stock of dead stock fabric, so they were selling it off for £4.99 a metre for viscose. And because I'd ordered from them in the past, well, quite recently, I'd ordered them in January, I knew that they were good quality viscose as well, and so I put an order through, and I was eyeing up more than one, and I kept dipping things in and out of my basket, and I thought, do I really, I don't have the space, and no, I don't really need to be spending money on fabric for the sake of it, because I'd already done another fabric order, which all my fabric has arrived now, and I'll show you in a sec. So there's this. Hopefully it's going to show up okay on camera. So it's cream leaf rather than white. And I ordered 3 meters, but at £5 a metre, I thought that was great. So this is to make the Florence dress with the adjustments that I've done on the bodice. And then I also ordered some buttons. Now, where have I put them? Oh, they're in my sewing box. Let me just go and get them. Now I have them wrapped in tissue paper so they're a bit rustly. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these, and some of these are shell, like made from shell. I can't remember what these ones were, if they were or not. So they're slightly oh no, just dropped it on the floor. So they're slightly raised up on one side. They have this sort of mottled effect. So I just didn't know. I'll hang this up. I didn't know what kind of buttons are going to come with it, what would go with it. They may not go, they're a bit too white. The other ones, I got some little in the shape of a shell. I'm going to may just insert a photo, which might be. Those ones there, they're quite small, and they were sold in set quantities. And then the other one I've got has this sort of, focus, sort of iridescent. And so they're really delicate because these ones are shell, but it's really hard to get buttons at the minute. And because when you order fabric online, a lot of those shops just sell fabric, they don't necessarily sell buttons. And in the past I have made, like my Avid seamstress blouse, I had the fabric in my stash and had the pattern, made it, and then I thought, oh, buttons. And then I ended up having to buy generic plastic ones from like a general shop, and it kind of spoils the look in a way, because it's like the last thing you do, and then sometimes that finishing touch doesn't look great. So they weren't cheap. I ordered them yesterday and they came today, so it was really quick on delivery. But Tamlem from Sewn on the Tyne, she put on that she'd got these buttons from Textile Garden in the UK, and they're really nice buttons. So if you have any other supplier that you can recommend, like any shops for nice buttons, then please put a comment down below, because I think that's something I'm really lacking. Because in my last week's video I ordered some black buttons from eBay, which were fine because I just wanted black buttons, but anything a little bit different, it's really hard because you're sort of tied to a colour and you don't know when you're ordering a line that's going to match, like with the green. So I thought if I can go something like a shiny sort of iridescent sort of colours, then it would hopefully match. We will see on that one. I had my fabrics arrive from Andrea at Beyond the Pink Door, and these were ordered after watching one of her YouTube lives. I won a voucher in January. She did a little sort of online quiz as part of her one of her YouTube lives, and I won a €20 voucher. And I didn't spend it in January because she'd sold out of quite a lot of her fabrics, and I thought she's going to get some more in, so I'll wait until she does. And of course she did. And so, I mean, this is really boring because it's just, this is an offcut. This is French Terry in navy. So it's a loop back, and then this one's French Terry as well. These are offcuts. This was for a cuff that I cut the wrong way around, so that's why I have that. And I thought, I ordered 1 metre of each, and as you can tell, they arrived on Monday and I made them into something this week. So I used the Simplicity pattern, which is the collaboration they did with Sew House 7. So it's their sort of spin on the toaster sweater. So it's slightly different, but the option with the round neck. And I usually just, it's one I've made last year, and I add 2 inches in length to it. So it's quite, it hangs quite straight on the way down because the band at the bottom doesn't pull things in, it literally just hangs straight. So I probably could size down, but I did think they would go together. And I did check with Andrea on the live if she had the navy in and if it would match, and she said yes. So I had 1 metre of each, and I had plans to do navy with either just a stripe sleeve or a band of stripe going across the middle. I thought that would look really good, and I cut the pattern up and I added seam allowance. So I slashed it and I added seam allowances to the sections, cut the fabric out, and then thought, oh, that doesn't, and my daughter said, that doesn't look very big. And I realised I hadn't cut the piece on the fold. So I literally had navy, a stripe, and then navy, and then like nothing for the other half. The back was going to be navy on the fold. So I had to scrap that plan because I didn't use up my fabric in the configuration I'd done. So I had to change plans. So the whole of the front is stripe, and then the cuffs are stripe, and then navy's on the rest. So I still have a little bit of that stripe left for other projects. So I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for, so don't know. Another fabric that I got is another French Terry from Andrea, and it's coral colour. I don't know if that's coming off the screen, it probably looks a bit red, but it's coral, and I got, I think, 1.5 meters, and that was to make the same pattern, but not the round neck, but the one with the actual collar, and I think I might take out the extra 2 inches that I put in and just have that more as like a cropped jumper, because I think that will go well for spring. So that is that one. And then another fabric, and I had two, I've got this and 2 more from Andrea. One was 1 metre of black French terry, you don't really need to see that because it's black, and 1/2 metre of a cotton jersey in black, and that was to make a tank top from the Lunar Loungewear set that I made, which you haven't seen yet, but they will be coming up, and that's by Love Notions. I haven't filmed my January makes yet. That is on my to-do list, which will probably be this weekend, ready for early next week, possibly Monday. So keep an eye out for that one. And this is a nice, coming out quite bright, burgundy fabric, and it's really fluffy on the inside. And this was to make a cardigan. Now, going back to last week's purple cardigan, which was the McCall's one, and so I think that because it's stretched out on the bottom, I think the best thing is to cut off the facing and have a band, and just do a separate band onto the cardigan rather than their method in the pattern where you just fold under and then try and top stitch, because it just pushes the jersey and it's not great. So I think that's the best way. So this is this. And I also said in last week's video that I had quite a lot of compliments about the purple cardigan that it suited me, perhaps because we've got dark hair. I have actually dyed the roots today, so it has had a fresh coat of colour, so my hair might be a bit darker today, but it did make me think that perhaps I should try purple. And I do have a fabric in my stash which is a cotton lawn, which is for making a shirt, and that has little purple sort of parasols all over it, but I'm not sure on what pattern. One more fabric turns up again, well, you know, it's nothing to see, it's this, but it is the black stretch cotton fabric from Minerva, which is what I bought to make trousers with. And talking of trousers, I did buy a new pattern this week and downloaded it. It's by I always want to say Style Sew Me. I always get that back to front. This here is what I've taped this together. So this is the Chloe jeans. Now, put that down. As part of the challenge, Natida from So Natural Dane and Kira from Island Socialist, they're running a challenge for Black History Month for the month of February. And so I purchased the pattern because when I look, with my trouser drama, you'll see all that. I'll put a link down below to that playlist. But all my drama and trying to get trousers to fit, when I looked up this pattern company, their jeans, that it said, were designed for a fuller bottom, I think, and for an hourglass figure. So I hope, and it said you can make them in twill and things, so I think as long as the fabric has got some stretch, and I've ordered stretch cotton, I'm going to muslin it first, but hopefully try it. And so although that fabric was ordered to make the Burda trousers, I'm going to have a go at these Chloe jeans, and I'm not sure how it's going to work out because they don't have much excess like ease in them, because it's designed for a jean. It's supposed to be probably tighter than a trouser, but I thought I'd just play around with it and just see how much extra fabric is in the bottom and if that affects the hanging, because my issue has always been excess fabric at the back of the leg. So I thought I'd just try that, as it says that they're designed for an hourglass figure. I'd give it a go. I've got nothing to lose. There was a 15% off coupon, and I thought I would support the small business and just try a different pattern, because I'm not giving up. Some people watching this might think that I'm being a bit negative about my makes, and it has been pointed out in the past, and not being as positive as I should be. But I think it's because I've been sewing for a few years now. I want to work on the fit of the garments, and I'm very conscious when things don't fit perhaps the way that they should done. So when I first started sewing, I was quite happily would make things and with a bit of stretch, and then they would just fit and they would hang. But the longer I've been sewing, the more I'm looking at the fit of things and how they suit me and how they're constructed. And because I just want to improve my skills, that's why I try and sew as much as I can, because it is a whole learning process. So I learn as I go. I've had 2 basic dressmaking courses, and then the rest is just kind of self-taught, and a lot of that is through trial and error, and I just want to get better and be more advanced. So that is it. So I don't ever want to feel like I'm coming across negative and I'm not happy with the things I make, but sometimes there are things where I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, that I need to improve on that for next time, because that's all knowledge, so I can get a better fit on garments. I've been running my channel for about 4 years now, and so my sewing has progressed on quite a lot in that time, but it still has a long ways to go. So this is just documenting my sewing journey. Sewing and YouTube are my hobbies, they're not my job, so it's just sharing my thoughts. So anyway, this is a top I made last week, and I had this fabric in my stash for a couple of years at least, and I bought it locally and I just didn't know what to do with it. I don't know if you can see the texture. So it's some kind of jersey, I'm not sure, it almost feels a bit woolly, and I originally bought it thinking I would make some kind of wrap dress, and then I realised, because this is navy, I had no idea what shoes I'd wear with it, and that sounds really silly, but I think that it's too, I don't know, it wouldn't go with trainers, it's almost like too dressy, it just wouldn't look right. And then the boots I've got are black, and then this is navy, so I made it into a top. Last week I needed some distraction, and so someone reminded me, and that was Sam over on Frugalissima, I think. I may have pronounced it wrong, but I will link her channel down below, and she does free videos on like free patterns and things, and so she featured this video by, oh, who's it by? Itch to Stitch. She featured this pattern by Itch to Stitch, and I'd never made a pattern by them before, but it was a free pattern. The sleeves were really long. I chopped off at least 1 inch, and I've hemmed them by a good 1.5 inches, so I could easily cut that down. This will be, you'll see this in a January makes video, but I just want to include that. On Tuesday I had an IKEA delivery, and that was furniture for the kids' rooms. So it was two desks, pegboard, notice board, and 3 Kallax units. Mainly all with doors, so the inserts which have the door which go on them as well. I think I ordered 20 of them, quite a lot. So yeah, progress is I've built the one in my daughter's room, I've built the 2 units in my son's, and added doors to one of the units in my son's room, but I need to build 8 more like units with doors, and then his will be sorted. And so I set them the task this afternoon to sort out their stuff so they can actually fill those cupboards. So they're keeping occupied and they're out of the way, and so hopefully we're going to get some kind of order going on upstairs. I just wanted to give a couple of shout outs to a couple of other YouTubers who are sewists as well. First of all, Elle from Elle and the Stitches. She's just started a channel up recently, so she's got a few videos on there, and she's just done a sew along for the closet called Puff. So if you're thinking about making that, then maybe check out her channel, and she makes all sorts of things. And also the muslin fabric that I had for my Florence dress, she has that same fabric, and she puts me on her Instagram story, so I'm sure it's coming to her channel soon, that she is making something from that same fabric as well. And then the other person I wanted to shout out was Claire from Claire Who Makes Things, and you may already know her. She loves all sorts of crafts, and she's actually inspired me to try different things. And so before Christmas time I tried a bit of hand embroidery, which I had never really done before. But if you love crafting and sewing, then you'll love her channel. She loves a good chat. She's a UK sewist as well, but I will link those 2 channels down below, and I just wanted to give them a shout out. Thank you ever so much for watching today, and I will see you before my Friday sews video, because I will see you over in my January makes video coming soon once I film it.